let's look at things a little deeper, fellas. We got ourselves a winner, a runners-up, a Golden Boot winner, a overachieving nation / a dark horse, and the biggest flop nation.
Ooh.
Let's kick things. Actually, you know what? Let's work our way from the bottom up. The biggest flop. Who is not impressing you, Tazza?
Um, I think. I mean, it's hard to say a flop. They're going to make it out of the group, but I think that's as far as they get. I think Spain. I I don't like them a hell of a lot. I just don't think they're. I spoke about it before. I've talked them down a little bit. I just don't think they're as deep as we've seen years gone by,
Mm.
and I think they'll falter a little bit. They've got some young stars, but I'm not sure if they're ready to. Guys like Pedri and Gavi in that midfield, but I'm not sure if they're ready to really um, to dominate on the world stage just yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if they do, if they make it out of the groups, if they finish second, then they would potentially have to face Belgium if Belgium won
Yeah,
their group in the next round. So that's a tough ask.
I'd back Belgium there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
backing Belgium.
Josh?
I'm going with a team that I think has a lot of expectations from their own country, but I don't think they're going to go as well as they think, and that's England. I think England gets out
Ooh.
of the groups, but I don't think they go on a deep run at all here. I just don't. I don't think that Southgate has that team playing the way that they should be playing. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of young talent. I don't think he's maximising them at the moment. So
I
yeah,
feel
I don't
like
think they go on as deep a run as a lot of the English fans are hoping that they'll go on.
I feel like that's England to a T in every tournament ever,
Mm.
or not,
Yeah.
not ever, but in the last decade.
Yeah.
It just they cannot put the talent together. They can't maximize the talent. They're full of it, absolutely, but just can't get it to work
I think
on the pitch.
the fact that they made the final and in the Euros, unfortunately, obviously didn't win it. But I think the fact that they made it to the Euros has almost put a little bit of false hope in the minds of, I think, some of the English fans.
It's papered over some cracks.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have the that tournament's outcome in front of me, but I feel like they had a relatively easy run to that final in the Euros anyway. And there's a lot of there's obviously a lot of nations in the Euros that aren't there due to them not being in Europe, but yeah, they're going to have to come across a lot of better nations in this World Cup. So I like the shout. People have been calling for Southgate's head for a while now. After their last couple of friendlies, I think they went on a run of like 6 odd games without scoring a goal or something like that. But I mean, it was way too close to a World Cup to sack the manager and change it there. But yeah, no, it's a good call. It's a good call, for sure. I slightly hinted at it. I'm going Portugal as to flop. Similarly to you, Taz, I think they might make it out of the group, albeit second, and it'll be very close. It could be, we could be talking a point or goal difference or something like that makes them get out the group second, but they don't make it any further than that. I just think similarly to England, they absolutely have the talent in that side at the moment. Obviously, we don't need to talk about Ronaldo, but Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz at the back, João Cancelo, they've got these star-studded players that are playing for top quality clubs. But for some reason, when they come together as a collective, as a nation, they just don't tend to play how they probably should. You know what I mean? Like on paper, it feels like that sort of side should be running away with any sort of games, especially in qualifications and stuff like that. But they just find a way to make it hard for themselves. So I'm not a huge fan for them this year. I think they go home pretty early.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think ignore my Liverpool bias, but I think Diogo Jota will be a huge miss for them
Mm.
because his form for Portugal has been before his injury and through the qualifying was great. Ever since he's broken into that team and had a for the last 12 months, 18 months since he broke in, he's been great for him. So I think it'd be a huge miss.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's definitely probably the next best goal scorer for Portugal at the moment, besides Ronaldo. So yeah, he's a big miss for him. He's a big miss for him. What do we got now? Overachieving nation, dark horse. This is where it begins to get a bit interesting, fellas. Tazza, actually, no, sorry. I'm going to go Josh first because
Yeah, go
we've
Josh.
been holding on to this.
I think you know where I'm
I
going.
think we know where you're going, mate. Canada.
Yeah, Canada, I think, is getting through to the 16s, and yeah, I think they're going to have a really good tournament. The injury cloud obviously over Alfonso Davies is troubling for me, and um, he is going to have to play and make a good contribution for this to happen. But I like Canada. I think it's a competitive group. Belgium, Croatia, Morocco. I think they're going to be able to match it with those guys and get a couple of results which they need to get through. So um, they're an overachiever for me. I'm not saying they're a dark horse to win it, but I think given where they're at as a footballing nation, to get through the group stages, massive result for them.
No, I like it. I like it. So the big, so they make it to round of 16, then no further.
I'm not going to say they won't make it any further, but I think it'd be a tough ask them to go much further. I think the draw gets a bit tough.
Well, they would
I think
either
they
have to
line up against Brit.
face, they would face the loser, or sorry, the second place of Group E. So it would be, you know, potentially either Spain or Germany.
Yeah, I think it's tough to see him beating one of
Mm,
those teams. But
mm.
yeah, dark horse, Canada, overachieving, getting through the group. That's my pick for you.
Yep, no, I like it. It's definitely an overachievement for them getting out the group stage. I think in that particular group, I like it. Um, I think, I reckon our friends over in Africa, Senegal, the current African Cup of Nations, will take it. I'm going to suggest you got the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely got the same. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the draw favors them quite well. If they finish second in the group, which it looks likely, they'll face the winner of Group B, which, as we've spoken about, could more than likely be England.
Look
And
out.
we've just said
Mm.
that England are going to flop. This is Senegal's best chance to, make it to a quarters, which is probably as far as they'll go, but still a quarters for Senegal, I think would be a good tournament for them.
You've hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I was going to say. The draw opens up definitely a lot for them. I think England are prone. England aren't. Yeah, I don't rate them all that highly. Like we've already spoken about them, and I just don't see them really cracking that the last four of the semis or anything like that. And I mean, if they do, if things fall that way, they meet France eventually, and they'll crumble there. But I give Senegal a good shot at definitely getting out of that group and beating England if that's the way the chips fall.
Yep. A golden boot, fellas. Who's banging in the goals?
I'll go first. This has a lot to do with who I think is going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the person you probably think from the country that would win if this country did win. It's Lautaro Martinez.
Whew.
I think
Wow.
a
Okay.
bit of a roughie. I think he's been pretty good for a few years now, and I think this is his time to shine. Um, I reckon I'm kind of giving away my winner pick there, but I think he should lead the line with some combination with Messi.
Yep.
And I think this should bear a lot of fruit. I think he'll be right near the top. He'll play a fair few games. He'll have plenty of chances to get there. So yeah, he's my pick.
Ooh, I was not expecting that.
I didn't want to go for the low hanging fruit Harry Kane or Mbappe. So
Yeah, okay.
that's where
Yeah.
I went.
Well, speaking of low-hanging fruit, Mbappe for me, chalk it down.
Yeah.
I think they'll go reasonably deep in the tournament. He's the main man. He's primed for a big year, primed for a big World Cup. I think he was the young player of the tournament last time we had the World Cup,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think he's just going to go from strength to strength. So expect a big World Cup from Mbappe for me.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sticking with France, and I'm pretty sure he's in thing. I probably should have looked this up, because if he's not, it's going to make me look pretty stupid. I'm pretty sure he's made the squad, but I'm sticking with France. But it's Kareem the Dream.
Mm,
Kareem the Dream
yeah.
Benzema is gonna be the Golden Boot. I think he's currently. I mean, he's just won the Ballon d'Or. He's on absolute fire for Real Madrid at the minute. You know, I think Mbappe will play second fiddle for him. You know, Benzema will play down the guts. Mbappe will play off of either wing, but I think Benzema will be the focal point more so than Mbappe for me. And it could be, if I had to throw out a figure, you know, it's tough. It's tough to get, you know, a large chunk of goals in a tournament, you know, of this size. But I think he could easily hit. He could easily hit 8, maybe 8, 9 goals.
Ooh,
He could get it. He'll get a couple in this group. He'll get. You know, he's got a chance of a brace against Australia and Tunisia. There's 4. You know, if he gets another one against Denmark, and then throughout the rest of the tournament as well, he's got an opportunity there to hit at least 8. I think.
I think Harry Kane won with 6 last year, was it? Did he win with 6?
Was that in the World Cup, or was that in the Euros?
Was that might have been Euros. Yeah, of course. I think it was
But
Euros.
I think it would have been
yeah.
about 6. I think he scored like 5 penalties or something like
Yeah, probably.
that. All right, who's the runners up?
I'll start it off again. Off the back of what you just said, I think France. I think France will lose here. Lose it in the final, so it's an honourable defeat. But yeah, I've all along I've said I think a South American team will win it, but France will be there come the last day.
I'm in agreement with you. France runners up. It would also be the first time for a long time that the previous World Cup winner has actually made it out of the group stage the following World Cup. There seems to be some omen over the current World Cup holder. Obviously, like I said, Spain won it in 2010. They didn't make it out of the groups in 2014. Germany won it in 14, didn't make it out of the groups in 18. And then France won it in 18. So now the challenge for them is to make it out of the groups in 22.
I think
not
they're
overly
too good.
difficult for France. Yeah,
You wouldn't think so. But we've seen stranger things happen. Germany didn't have a very tough group in 2018, and they did not play well.
Either way, fellas, I'm with you as well. It's France for me. It's 3 from 3. France making through the final, but not getting it done. And Tazza, I think you're on the money with the way you're thinking, mate.
Oof, yes, on the ball.
So you're both thinking Argentina to take it home?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Messi in his last game, for the national team, to take it home finally.
Right off into the sunset.
I saw this was a while ago. That if he'd have played the last 4 games for PSG up until the break, and then he played every single game in the World Cup, the World Cup final would have been his 1000th game in his career, which meant he had the chance to win the World Cup in his 1000th career game. Which,
wow,
now that would be just
that's
written in the stars.
That would be amazing, and that would be the cherry on top. I think the GOAT debate is done at that point.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's never the GOAT debate's never done. They'll never stop debating it. It'll go on for years.
It'd definitely tip it one way, I reckon, easily.
Well, I'm not saying Argentina. I think the other South American nation of Brazil take it home. It'd come down between those two in the semifinals, I think, and it'll be Brazil. Having seen the the team sheet that came out only, I think, yesterday for Brazil.
That's very good.
That is looking very, very strong in all areas. They've got the 2 best goalkeepers in the Premier League. They've got it all. Obviously Neymar up front, the midfield, the defense, it's all there. I think they're a lot more all well-rounded. They've been a little bit underwhelming in some World Cups, but I think this year could be the year that they would take it home again. So Brazil for me.
Yeah. That front, the 6 attackers in that squad, it's unreal. Rodrigo, Vinicius, Richarlison got in there. It's just huge. The Gabriel Jesus all in there. Neymar, it's unreal. I think the South American teams just have too much here, given the conditions as well. I think they're favoured there.
Yeah, we love talking about conditions on this channel. So no, that's a good point. Actually, that's a good point. Well, while we're on the topic of conditions, obviously we mentioned before the fact that they basically moved. I'm pretty sure they moved the World Cup to better the conditions to make it less humid for the players. How much of a difference that's exactly going to make, I don't think it'll make a huge difference. Adding in their jumbo-sized air conditions and fans and stuff inside the stadiums probably won't make a huge difference either, I'm going to suggest. If anything, it'll just blow the hot air around.
Yeah.
That's got to, like I said, we speak a fair bit about conditions on the channel. It's not everyone's cup of tea, i.e. me.
Oh boy.
It's a topic of much debate in our AFL podcast, but given these conditions and the fact that many of these players would not have played in conditions like this before, this is going to take a big toll on some nations, I think.
Yeah, the fact you're putting it in the smack bang in the middle of the regular season for football anyway, we may not see it yet, but I think we'll see it definitely come sort of May next year, the end of the regular season for the leagues. These players are going to crumble. There's no ifs or buts about it. I just can't see how there's going to be some huge rotation through club football as a result, because there are some players that are just, like you said, haven't seen it or haven't played in it, and it's going to be completely foreign to them.
So Josh, we both all three of us actually picked, we all picked a South American side to win it. Obviously, them alongside probably the Africans are best suited for this type of climate. Did that play any role in?
Oh yeah,
it
played a huge part. I love talking about the conditions. Conditions play a huge part in what's going on here. But 100%, now that was definitely a big factor, and it was definitely why I was choosing between Argentina and Brazil for me. Not just the fact that they're two of the best teams going around, but that they're going to be able to handle the conditions and be able to run out those games for longer. And you did make an interesting point about the industrial size fans, by the way. I can't wait to see someone put so much curve on a free kick and just get the assist from the industrial size fan just blowing it across the goal. That's going to be terrific.
Oh, imagine something like that happens. Somehow, some way, the ball's going out.
The ball gets caught in a vortex.
Yeah, and just ends up being blown straight into the goal. Oh. The 2010 Jabulani World Cup football had a lot of talking points in its own right. The fact that thing just moved the way it did. We could see a similar movement with the ball this year, but it'll be assisted by industrial size fans rather than just the make of the ball.
Do you think that's going to be the iconic thing about this World Cup? 2010 we had the vuvuzelas. Is it going to be the fans? Is it going to be what's going to be the thing that we remember about this World Cup?
The constant whirring of fans in the background.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, probably. It could be a fact that I mean, would they have a drinks break potentially in this World Cup because of the humidity and stuff like that? I mean, are we seeing a drinks break come in? I don't.
You want to see a water boy?
Maybe not a water runner.
Oh, I love that.
I reckon that's a great idea.
A water runner.
Where's Adam Sandler just running off the sideline? Just
High
the hydration.
quality H2O.
Oh no, it's a good it's a good question. I don't know. I don't think we'll see. We might see a few players sort of struggling so much under the heat that they, might we're getting a little bit dark here, but that they collapse or pass out or something like that in the middle of the pitch because they're just dying of heat exhaustion and stuff like that. But I think, like Tazza said, I think we're going to see a lot of toll be paid on these players, especially directly after the World Cup, going from one environment to the other. I mean, you think about the England and the Premier League. By the time they come back, that's like prime time winter in England, where it's beginning to snow and stuff like that. Going from one extreme to the other, for these guys, it's gonna pay its toll for sure.
It's gonna be nasty.
I reckon we're going to see a lot of late goals in this tournament, not just because people are getting fatigued, but certainly as you get to the end of the match and it's looking like it's potentially going to go to extra time, you might just see a look across the field from the boys and go, yeah, no, we're not playing the extra half an hour here. I'll just give you the goal. Yeah, let's get out of here and go back to the sheds.
That's a good point. We might see our lowest amount of shootouts in the tournament if teams have that mentality. I don't know if anyone's going to be willingly just say, "Oh, bugger it, let's just get this shit over and done with," so we can go back inside. But no, that's good. That's good. Let's wrap it up there. I think, fellas. I think we've done our part and we've said our 2 cents on the upcoming World Cup. But got plenty of content planned for during the World Cup. This is not the last time you'll see myself and Taz's beautiful face, and it's not the last time you'll hear Josh. You haven't seen his beautiful face for a while, but
hear my dulcet tones.
We can assure you it hasn't changed since the last time you saw him. But let's we'll wrap it up there, fellas. It's a week away. It is exciting nonetheless of what we've discussed about. It's the World Cup. Everyone's looking forward to it. It's going to be a cracker. Hopefully we can see Australia do something and not disappoint us too much. And we'll touch base later on in the World Cup to see how some of these predictions are coming on. But cheers, lads, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Catch us.